Someone was walking through the bush in North Queensland, Australia, when he spotted a small, dark figure standing among the plants. Strangely, it was shorter than a human and covered in dark fur. He had never seen anything like it. Before it ran off, he managed to capture this picture. Experts are now examining the image. Some think it might be a yowie, a creature from Australian folklore often linked to Bigfoot, but it seems far too small and thin. What could this have been? Just a person, after all? Reddit user SasquatchBalls45 uploaded a video that a friend had sent him from a hunting lease near Honobia, Oklahoma. The friend spotted a black figure walking upright through the trees and quietly recorded it until it disappeared. He never saw it again. Most commenters agreed it was a great capture, but some skeptics wondered if it could just be another hunter. What do you think? This short clip surfaced online. In the first part, a tall brown figure walks past a tent and turns its face toward the camera. In the second, it moves through the trees. Its height is striking, with some viewers estimating it could be around 8 feet. There's no background detail, which raises doubts. Is it just a hoax? In 2016, Don Avron was in a wooded area in the USA. The exact location was never specified. While spending time outdoors, he noticed an unusual figure ahead of him. The figure did not resemble a human. It appeared larger than normal, with long arms and a slow, lumbering walk. Don couldn't clearly identify what he was seeing, but when you look closely, it does resemble Bigfoot. He recorded a short video of the figure before it moved out of view. However, for unknown reasons, only a single screenshot was ever posted online, which raises the question, is this story truly authentic? A group of men ventured into the San Luis Valley after hearing reports of Bigfoot sightings in the area. They searched the woods, hoping to catch a glimpse of the creature. While they didn't see anything alive, they discovered a massive footprint pressed into the soft soil. The size and shape were extraordinary. Even without seeing the creature itself, this evidence convinced them that something unusual roamed the valley. In 2009, Justina Foulier and a friend were recording casual footage in the Tatra Mountains, near a creek along the Poland-Slovakia border. For a while, nothing seemed out of the ordinary, until Justina spotted it and screamed. A figure was standing silently in the trees behind them. Whatever, or whoever it was, vanished into the forest the moment it was seen. The footage is shaky and unfocused, but keep in mind it was filmed in 2009. So who, or what, was watching them that day? This experience happened on May 13th, 2017 at 4:31 p.m. The man had been camping completely off-grid in Burkhead Mountains National Forest near Asheboro, North Carolina. Heavy rain had moved through the area that day, and he was nearly 10 miles from his vehicle, deep in the wilderness. When he arrived earlier, the parking area was empty. No other vehicles, no signs of hikers or campers. The weather had kept people away. While hiking uphill along a steep, muddy trail coated in red Carolina clay, he noticed something that made him stop immediately. Pressed into the ground was a trail of large humanoid footprints, each measuring roughly 15 to 20 inches long. The tracks came from a brush-covered hillside, crossed the trail directly in front of him, and disappeared into thick forest on the opposite side. At the time, he didn't believe in Bigfoot and tried to explain it away. He took a few photos and continued on, assuming there had to be a logical explanation. That night changed his perspective. After setting up camp at dusk, he eventually fell asleep. Sometime later, he woke suddenly to disturbing sounds coming from the surrounding forest. He described hearing high-pitched screams, gurgling noises, and strange moans echoing through the trees. Sounds, he said, did not resemble any animal he had ever encountered. Whatever was making the noise seemed close. Although he was armed, the combination of isolation, darkness, rain, and the unfamiliar sounds unsettled him enough that he decided to leave immediately. He lit his lantern, broke down his campsite, and hiked back to his vehicle in the dark. To this day, he says the experience still doesn't make sense. A trail camera owner shared some unusual footage and asked if anyone could explain what was happening. For nearly 20 seconds, a huge, rough hand moves in front of the camera. It looks human in some ways, yet the size and shape feel off, almost wild. The uploader said the bone structure didn't match a normal human hand, and viewers pointed out the smashed fingernails, which would be hard to fake. Since the clip only shows the hand, no one can confirm what creature it belongs to. But of course, many suspect Bigfoot. In 1987, 16-year-old Teresa Ann Beyer from Fresno, California, vanished during a camping trip in Ghost Canyon, near Shut-Eye Peak in the Sierra Nevada. She had gone into the mountains with 43-year-old Russell "Skip" Welch, an older acquaintance she had been spending time with. But days later, Welch came back alone. At first, he told police that Teresa had simply run away. Later, his story changed. He claimed she had been abducted by Bigfoot. When search teams went to the area, they found a campsite that didn't feel right. Items appeared staged, and there was no clear sign of where Teresa went. Despite extensive ground and air searches, no trace of her was ever found. A helicopter later spotted Welch's shirt in the area. It tested positive for meth. Welch was charged with child stealing, but was eventually released, and no further charges stuck. Over time, the case went cold. Most investigators believe Teresa likely met with foul play, and that Welch's Bigfoot claim was a distraction. Still, among cryptid believers, the story lives on, and some genuinely argue her disappearance is one of the most cited cases to support Bigfoot abduction theories. Nearly 4 decades later, Teresa Ann Beyer has never been found, and what really happened in Ghost Canyon remains unanswered. A man and his son were driving to cut firewood. While crossing a ridge, they noticed something moving across a road on the next ridge, about 400 yards away. They slowed the vehicle, and the son grabbed a camcorder from the back seat. By the time the recording started, the figure had already crossed the road and moved behind a mound of rocks. Because of the distance, it was difficult to make out any clear details. The footage shows the last visible moment before the figure disappeared into the woods. They later posted the video online without claiming it was Bigfoot, simply asking if anyone could explain what they had captured. Now, if you're enjoying my videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. Your support helps me creating new stories every week, and it means the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. While hiking along a foggy trail, this person suddenly stopped in their tracks. Through the mist, a tall, dark shape stood just off the path. Its body looked upright and broad, and the arms seemed longer than what you'd expect from any person out on the trail. The fog and low resolution make it hard to identify clearly, but the silhouette is unsettling. So, could this have been Bigfoot, just another person on the trail, or a trick of the fog? This clip was posted on the Squatch Is Real's Instagram. In the winter of 1969, residents of Bossburg, Washington found more than 1,000 large barefoot tracks after heavy snowfall. The prints crossed frozen fields, roads, and wood, and were recorded with photos and plaster casts. The tracks appeared overnight and moved across open land without breaks. One foot was normal, while the other showed a strong deformity that changed how it was pressed into the snow. The prints showed weight shifts, toe spread, and depth that matched walking. Researcher Renee DeHinden and anthropologist Dr. Grover Krantz examined the trail, but the snow melted and the trackway disappeared, leaving no trace behind. On May 18, 2025, a man named Edward Henry and his 12-year-old son were fishing in Plum Creek when they heard something large moving through the brush. Moments later, a massive upright creature stepped into view. Edward quickly pulled out his phone and began recording. After the figure vanished from sight, Edward and his son decided it was best to leave. The Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization later called the footage credible, and some are calling it one of the clearest Bigfoot videos in years. A man went out expecting a normal hike, but the day turned unusual fast. Deep in the woods, far from the main path, he noticed something move ahead. As he stepped closer, he raised his phone and recorded. A tall figure stood with its back toward him. It turned slowly, noticed him, and he ran. Luckily, the creature stayed where it was. Idaho's forests and wide wilderness are known for strange sounds and occasional reports from hunters and campers who hear distant knocks or sharp cries at night. But not everybody's convinced. Many people are questioning whether this video is genuine. And I agree. It looks almost too good to be true. In 2021, a Reddit user visited Willow Creek, California, a place already famous for Bigfoot sightings. While hiking through the area, they captured something strange on camera. The photo showed a dark, human-shaped figure standing near the trees. Some people immediately claimed it was Bigfoot. Others dismissed it as nothing more than light and shadow. But the uploader wasn't so sure. They said the shape didn't match any tree, branch, or obstacle around it. So what exactly did they capture out there? In the summer of 1924, deep in the shadow of Mount St. Helens, 5 miners thought they were alone in the wilderness. They were wrong. Fred Beck and his crew had set up camp near a narrow gorge, but soon something terrifying happened. The men claimed they were attacked, not by bears or bandits, but by hairy ape-like creatures standing nearly 7 feet tall with glowing eyes and huge feet. The creatures began hurling massive rocks at the cabin, pounding on the walls, clawing at the door, trying to force their way in. Trapped and terrified, the miners fired their rifles into the shadows, hoping to drive the attackers back. The siege lasted for hours. By dawn, the creatures vanished into the forest. The men, shaken and exhausted, abandoned their camp and fled the mountain, straight to the authorities with a chilling tale. Locals dubbed the place Ape Canyon, a name that stuck. But was it real? Skeptics say it was a hoax, maybe pranksters, or a case of mass hysteria. No footprints, no bodies, no proof. But Fred Beck insisted it was real, even claiming later that supernatural forces were involved. What really happened that night in Ape Canyon remains a mystery. On October 30th, just before midnight, John Brown and his brother Ben recorded unusual thermal footage on their rural property in Grays Harbor County. What they captured was something they couldn't explain. The thermal footage appears to show the head, shoulders, and upper chest of a figure. According to the brothers, the figure was standing on a steep hillside, roughly 3 to 4 feet below their position. The property is highly isolated, surrounded by dense forest, with the nearest neighbor about half a mile away. After reviewing the footage, size and shape analysis ruled out deer and cattle. Bears were also considered unlikely, as none are known to inhabit the area. Adding to the mystery, the brothers later discovered large footprints nearby. They conducted size comparison tests using the recorded location and the spot where the prints were found. The results showed a significant difference in both width and length compared to a human. Using a scale pole for reference, they estimated the figure to be roughly 4 feet wide and about 7 feet tall. Whatever they captured that night, it was far larger than anything that should have been there. John Stoneman was hiking through Kinzua State Park in Pennsylvania when something caught his eye. He raised his camera and snapped 2 photos. In the photos, 2 tall, hairy figures were standing between the trees. Stoneman said they were bigger than any local bears and stood in a way that looked far more human than animal. What he actually captured was never confirmed, but the photos added to the long list of strange sightings reported in Pennsylvania's forests. In September 2015, in the small town of Vinita, Oklahoma, something strange began happening at a local car dealership. Green Country Ford staff arrived to find vehicles torn apart. Bumpers and fenders were ripped off, bite marks gashed through the metal, clumps of fur and traces of blood were left behind. Police launched an investigation and believed a large white dog was responsible. But what kind of dog could do this much damage? Despite overnight searches with spotlights and patrols, the animal was never caught. And the attacks didn't stop. More vehicles were damaged, and the cost soared into the thousands. People began to whisper, was it just a dog, or something else entirely? Some pointed the size and the strength of the damage. Others noted the repeat visits, the seeming intelligence, the timing. The police never made an arrest. The creature was never found, and the true cause of the Veneta dealership attacks remains unknown to this day. During a hike through the woods, this person encountered something truly unsettling. Ahead of him, a large brown figure could be seen slowly walking up a hill. The hiker quickly recorded the scene, then left the area as soon as possible. Later, he shared the footage online. Viewers were quick to question its authenticity. Whether what he captured was real or staged remains open for debate. Someone was hiking near the water when they noticed a black creature in the water. It looked like a person, but completely covered in black fur or a coat. They posted it online asking for opinions, and many suggested it might be Bigfoot. But the proportions didn't seem to match any known Bigfoot descriptions. It looked too short and slim. Even the person who recorded it doubts that theory, but believes it wasn't human either. Without knowing where the video was captured, it's hard to say for sure. A couple visiting Ashland hiked toward Tunnel 13, a mile-long walk through melting week-old snow. While stepping past the guardrail, the girl noticed a print in the snow that didn't match the usual human or dog tracks. As they walked, more of these impressions appeared. Each was about 18 inches long, with clear toe shapes and a large front toe. The prints followed the path for a short distance and then ended suddenly, with no sign of them heading into the woods. They didn't match animals or snowshoes. What could it belong to, if not Bigfoot? A man and his wife were driving along a forest road during the day. But as they made their way down the trail, they came across a fallen tree blocking most of the road, forcing them to stop. Before moving on, the wife took a quick photo of the scene. Later, after arriving at their cabin, they decided to show the photo to their family. That's when they noticed something strange. Near the end of the fallen tree, a dark shape. It appeared hunched, with broad shoulders and a rounded head just visible above the leaves. And on closer inspection, a second, less obvious form could be seen behind the first. Only a small section was visible, partially hidden through the branches. Could this truly have been two creatures caught on camera? Or was it just a trick of light and shadow? A case of pareidolia? A man walked into the woods near his home after hearing strange noises.
Look at the size of this old bitch. It's gotta be 9 foot tall. Hey, see if you want some chocolate. Hey, big fella. Hey, fella. Hey, fella, come here. Oh, he's getting pissed now.
As he moved forward, a large figure stepped out of the dark. The man kept recording while the figure noticed the camera and slowly backed away. He later uploaded the footage online, asking people what they thought. Some believed it was real, others suggested it could be something else. The true identity of the figure is still unclear. The Yowie is a large human-like creature from Aboriginal folklore, reported in remote parts of Australia. Dean Harrison of Australian Yowie Research says he has collected hundreds of reports over more than 20 years, with many accounts describing a similar size, appearance, and loud vocalizations. Recent reports include a woman in Queensland who said she was pushed during a bushwalk, and a truck driver who reported seeing a tall figure cross the road. With so many consistent reports, there seems to be at least some truth to the Yowie legend. An employee with the Department of Transportation noticed something remarkable in footage from a DOT webcam in eastern Washington. The camera had been recording winter conditions in Sherman Pass, about 5,500 feet above sea level, when a dark figure appeared in the snow. In a still frame beneath a tree, the shape didn't match any known object in the area. It appeared roughly human-sized and completely black from head to toe. It didn't look like a shadow or blown debris. The shape looked solid and upright. If it's not human, is it Bigfoot? While hiking through the woods of Texas, this couple spotted something moving between the trees. They quickly grabbed their camera and managed to record a short clip.
Oh my God, do you see that?
Yeah. Keep it steady, keep it steady.
It's huge. I think it's looking this way.
Don't move.
Oh, it's walking. It's leaving.
I got it.
Holy.
The footage shows a tall, dark figure walking upright through the forest. Its size was far too large to match anyone they expected to see out there. People online couldn't agree on what they were looking at. Some viewers believe the figure could be someone in a costume or a staged setup. Others insist it's one of the clearest pieces of footage they've ever seen of the legendary creature. Reddit user Jacob Abraham was hiking off trail when he saw something that at first looked like a bear. He pulled out his phone to record, but as he watched it move, he started to think it wasn't a bear, though he couldn't tell what it was. He showed the footage to a friend who suggested he share it online. Did he just capture Bigfoot? A family was in the Meek Cabin Mountains when they came across unusual tracks nearby. At first glance, they looked human, but they were far larger than normal. The man who found them said his family had seen similar prints in the area before. His sister had even claimed to see Bigfoot with her own eyes, saying it was so traumatizing she'd rather not talk about it. And it's not just their family. This region is known as a Bigfoot hotspot. There's got to be some truth to it, right? A carpenter was walking alone through a forest during a routine trip, wearing a backward-facing GoPro camera. At the time, he was unaware that something appeared behind him on the trail. Later, while reviewing the footage, he noticed a large figure partially hidden among the trees. The figure seems to peer out and watch the carpenter as he walks away. It remains still and does not approach, and it didn't look or behave like any animal he knew. The video was later shared online, leaving viewers to examine the footage and decide what was captured in the forest that day. A hunter had set up a trail camera deep in the woods, hoping to capture signs of wildlife. One weekend, he returned to check the footage, preparing for his next trip into the backcountry. That's when he saw something strange. A large, dark figure, walking upright, moving through the trees. Shocked, he shared the footage online, asking for help identifying what he had captured. Was it Bigfoot, or just someone playing a prank? The hunter insisted the area was remote, deep in the woods, and only a handful of people even knew where his camera was placed. To this day, no one has come forward to claim responsibility. So what did he record that day? A man had set up a trail camera for wildlife, but one evening, it captured something unexpected. A tall, skinny figure stood in the frame, covered in hair and shaped almost like a person. Its head looked rounded, and its arms hung low. The man thought maybe it was a bear caught at a strange angle, but it definitely didn't look like a normal bear sighting. It got him wondering, is Bigfoot real? TikTok user eHoss shared this Bigfoot photo, but with a twist. The image had been animated using AI. The creator took a well-known Bigfoot sighting photo and used artificial intelligence to bring it to life, showing what the original witness might have seen in motion. The results looked almost real. For some viewers, it made the image feel more believable, almost like experiencing the moment through the eyes of the person who captured it. This man from British Columbia had recently bought a new phone equipped with an infrared camera. While testing the camera, he began taking photos of his yard. That's when one image caught his attention. In the photo, a strange figure appeared. Whatever was captured seemed humanoid, moving on all fours, but the image quality made it difficult to clearly identify. The photo was later shared online by a friend. Beyond that, no additional details were ever provided. What the camera captured, and what may have been in the yard that night, remains unknown. A family living on a dense forest property filmed something strange on May 30th, 2025. Their camera picked up a tall, ape-like shape moving between the trees. When they brightened the footage later, more details became clear. The figure didn't move like a person fooling around. It seemed too steady, too real. Then it vanished into the woods and was never seen again. Was it just someone in a costume, or was it the real deal? Allegedly, this footage was captured by a hiker in the Himalayan mountains in 1992. The footage shows a tall figure moving through deep snow in an open area. The video was recorded in 1992 and released in a 1996 Bigfoot documentary. After its release, the clip spread across many platforms, but the source was never fully documented. No verified records explain how it was filmed or who recorded it, and the footage remains without a confirmed origin. On May 18, 2025, a mysterious new Bigfoot capture appeared online from an unknown trail camera somewhere in the United States. The photo, taken late at night, shows two bright lights in the darkness, staring straight at the camera. When filters were applied, the figure became visible, but since there's no clear source for the footage, it feels a little questionable. Over the years, several people have claimed to spot large unknown figures in various locations on Google Earth Street View. One image, allegedly from Washington State, shows a tall shape among the trees. When enhanced, many say they can make out a face, broad shoulders, and a humanoid form. Another image, from an unknown location in Europe, appears to show a fur-covered figure standing upright in a field. But did they really capture Bigfoot? Or is it just one of those Google Earth Easter eggs? A man checked the footage from his trail camera deep in the forest and saw a strange figure he couldn't immediately identify. It was broad, heavy, and sitting low with its head down. The shape didn't match any known animal or person from that area. He thought it could be Bigfoot, since the tall frame and thick outline looked close to the usual reports. Others said it might just be someone in bulky winter clothes. Even so, the unfamiliar shape is difficult to explain. In August 2024, a girl was recording lightning from her bedroom window. The room light was on, and everything looked normal. But in the video, two glowing lights appeared above the doorway, like a pair of eyes. A second later, they vanished. There was nothing on the wall inside, and when they checked outside, nothing was there either. Her mother replayed the footage many times but couldn't explain it. The lights looked like eyes, staring from nowhere. What could this be? Bigfoot, maybe? A teenager was hiking alone in a remote forest in the United States when he heard movement ahead and started filming. The camera caught a large primate-like figure moving low on all fours, briefly blocking the path. In a few frames, the body looks bulky, with fur stretched tight over it and clear muscle movement underneath. It didn't really resemble a bear, but no one can say for sure what it was. The teenager turned and ran, while the figure stayed back in the trees. He never gave a clear explanation of what he believed he saw. A couple hiking near a stream at Mount Washington noticed a crouched figure in the water. They snapped a photo, assuming it was a bear, but then it suddenly stood up and ran off on two legs. Its shoulders were broad, the arms long, and the back looked powerful. The couple believed they might have seen a young Bigfoot searching for food in the stream. Whatever it was, it didn't match any normal wildlife in the area. During a hike through the forest, this person noticed something strange and snapped a photo. They later uploaded a black and white version of it to the Bigfoot subreddit. The image showed what looked like a dark figure lurking behind a tree stump. Some viewers were convinced it could be Bigfoot. Others immediately laughed it off, saying it was obviously just a stump, and in the end, most people agreed. There was nothing mysterious about it at all, just a tree stump in the right place at the right angle. But for a brief moment, people wondered if they were looking at the real thing. In the 1980s, deep in the forests of Alberta, Canada, a lone camper spotted something moving in the distance and quickly began recording. The short video he captured shows a large bipedal figure moving through the trees. It doesn't resemble a man, and it certainly doesn't match any known animal from the region. Some believe it could be a Sasquatch. Others claim it was just a person in a costume. But whatever this man truly captured on film remains a mystery to this day. A Reddit user was hiking in the Appalachian Mountains, taking photos along the way. At the time this photo was taken, he said he started feeling uneasy for unknown reasons and ended his hike shortly after. When he checked the photos later, he noticed something he couldn't explain. Near the rocks, there's a dark patch. It's hard to make out any details, but doesn't look like part of the trees or rocks. It stands out. The hiker believes he would have noticed if it was a bear, but he's not sure. He thinks it might have been Bigfoot quietly watching him. What do you think? A hunter was using a trail camera in a forest during the fall season when it accidentally captured something unusual. The footage shows two dark, upright figures moving through the trees. The outlines of the figures are visible, but no clear details can be seen. The camera remains fixed as they pass across the frame. Because of the poor clarity and lack of context, the footage does not confirm what the figures are. No additional information or follow-up footage is available. A hiker was walking through a forest in Slovakia when he captured this terrifying footage. Something felt off, so he scanned the area with his camera. When he zoomed in, the truth hit him. A giant creature was right there. Without thinking, he ran for his life. To this day, he still wonders if what he saw was Bigfoot. This short video was shared online by a hiker who claims it may be the clearest Bigfoot footage so far. The clip shows a large, dark, hair-covered figure sitting on a fallen tree in a dense forest. The figure appears calm and does not react to the camera. Visible details include long arms, a broad chest, thick fur, and a face that looks partly human and partly primate. The video was reportedly filmed near the Little River in Alabama, an area known for being remote and heavily wooded. But whether the figure is genuine or fake remains a topic of debate. At Logan Canyon in Utah, a group recorded a large dark figure moving through a forested area. The figure appeared both tall and wide as it crossed the frame. Later, the same location was filmed again using a 6-foot man weighing about 220 pounds for scale. When the two clips were compared, the figure in the original footage appeared noticeably taller and larger than the man. The area is remote and heavily wooded, making the figure difficult to track or identify. Otis Hardesty has a friend who lives in Pennsylvania who claimed to have seen Bigfoot. The friend sent him a video in a group chat showing what appeared to be a large upright figure in the distance. At first he questioned whether it was real or just a prank. But his friend sounded serious and completely convinced by what he saw. Unsure of what to believe, he shared the footage online, hoping someone could explain what was really captured. A photo was shared on the Bigfoot subreddit by a user who found it in a box of old pictures at their 98-year-old grandfather's home in Connecticut. There was no label or date, and it had been stored with regular family photos. The image shows a dark figure with unusually long arms. It doesn't match anything else in the box. Why the photo was there, who took it, and the story behind it will likely remain an unsolved mystery. An Instagram page that shares Bigfoot-related content received a strange image from a viewer in Ocala National Forest. The image was captured by a trail camera. It shows a large, furry figure standing behind a fallen tree. The figure appears upright and bulky. At first glance, it resembles an ape, though no wild apes are known to live in Florida. The image quickly sparked debate. Was it simply a person wearing a costume, or did the camera capture something truly unknown? Tom Burnett, who lives deep in the Smoky Mountains of North Carolina, believes he's had more luck than most Bigfoot researchers. He and author David Riggs have spent years studying the creature, and Tom says he captured it on camera using motion-activated trail cams. Critics claim the photo is just the backside of a bear, but Tom disagrees. He insists the image shows the figure he's been tracking for years. He photographed Bigfoot. Reddit user Exalted Bruh was visiting a rural area north of Huntsville, hoping to enjoy the quiet landscape and get away from the city. The highway had been closed due to winter conditions, so he stopped and decided to walk around for a bit. While exploring the snowy ground, he noticed something unusual. Large tracks were pressed deep into the snow, far bigger than anything he expected to see out there. He wasn't a professional at identifying animal tracks, but their size and shape stood out immediately. He took photos, even standing beside them for comparison. Some commenters immediately argued these prints weren't unusual at all, claiming they were the result of a deer bounding through the snow and melting over time. What do you think left those tracks? In 2014, a group of children were playing in snowy woods near a treehouse while one of them recorded a video. During the recording, a large dark figure briefly appeared between the trees, moving upright before disappearing. At first, the children thought it was a bear. Moments later, they recorded tracks in the snow near that area.
Okay, I'm here with...
The impressions were long, deep, and shaped like bare feet. Bigfoot investigator Jack Barnes later analyzed the footage. Using a nearby picnic table for scale, he estimated the figure to be about 8 feet tall. The video was later uploaded, and some viewers believed it showed a real creature. Others believed it was all just staged. A man was fishing at Sally Lake near the Navajo Mountains when he filmed a tall, hairy figure in the distance. Its rounded head and broad shoulders were clearly visible. He believed it was Bigfoot. The area has no primates, so it's either Bigfoot or pareidolia. What do you think it is? This is a trail camera image captured at night in the woods at an unknown location. The figure in the frame looks strange because of the angle, lighting, and motion blur. It appears human, yet almost animal-like. But what kind of animal does it really resemble? Could it be a normal animal, or something unknown like a cryptid? Let me know if you can identify it. In 2025, the YouTube channel Strange Wilderness shared a really creepy video clip from a national park campground. 2 campers claimed they saw a large, hunched creature walking on 2 legs near their tent after dark. Scared, they contacted park wardens immediately and set up a trail camera along the path leading back to their site. When the wardens came and searched the area, they found nothing unusual. But later, when a warden was walking alone toward his vehicle, the trail camera captured the same creepy creature following him. As it neared the camera, it turned around and disappeared back into the forest. The camera captured just enough to raise questions. Was it just a bear, or maybe Bigfoot? An Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife biologist named Dave found a footprint in the Salmonberry River Canyon inside Tammock State Forest on February 1st, 2025. The print measured about 10 to 12 inches long and about 5 to 6 inches wide in a remote winter area. The print had a clear human shape, yet no barefoot person was known to be in the forest at that time. This followed reports from 2013 of a tall figure on a ridge and from 2014 of wood knocking and loud screams at night. In the 1990s, 2 large figures were seen running through clearings, and in 2021, non-animal calls were recorded near Bloom Lake. Locals are convinced something is there. In early September 2024, a camper named Jack was on a fishing trip with his father at the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness in Michigan. When he went to gather firewood near camp, he spotted something standing in the trees. At first, he thought it was a bear, but then it stood upright. Jack snapped 3 quick photos before it growled softly and ran into the forest. Scared, they left the area early, still unsure what watched them. In late winter, a man was hiking through a remote valley in Colorado. The area was isolated, far from any homes. He was filming the breathtaking view from a high, rocky outcrop. but during the recording, he suddenly noticed something strange. Two dark figures moving across the valley below. They appeared large, with broad shoulders and long arms. Moments later, they vanished into the trees. Feeling uneasy, the man quickly left the area. To this day, he isn't sure what he saw out there, but whatever it wasn't human. In September 2004, a hiker recorded this video near Hoodoo Creek in eastern Oregon. The location was about 10 miles north of Granite, close to the North Fork John Day Wilderness. Over the course of 3 days, campers in the area reported several unusual events. On the first day, a large dark figure, estimated to be 7 to 8 feet tall, was seen running downhill through thick brush. On the second day, a reddish, upright figure was reportedly spotted following a witness near the campsite. By the third day, branches were thrown downhill toward the witness, and loud screams were later heard echoing from a nearby canyon. Did this hiker manage to capture the same figure that multiple people claimed to see? Back in 2009, a person hiking through the forests of Utah noticed something unusual in the distance. They quickly managed to snap this photo. Keep in mind, phone cameras in 2009 were nowhere near the quality we have today, and AI image creation wasn't even part of the conversation back then. Despite the grainy image, some viewers pointed to specific features: broad shoulders, a domed head, powerful legs. Based on those details, some confidently concluded this could be a real Bigfoot sighting. Reddit user Kara8Bishop was scrolling through Zillow when she came across a New Hampshire listing, a quiet house tucked away in the woods. But then, she noticed something strange. One of the photos had a shape in the background that didn't belong. She zoomed in and saw a figure standing near the property. Many commenters suggested it might be Bigfoot caught on camera by accident, while others think it could just be a trick to grab attention. If that's the case, it worked. The listing is now off the market. Deadwood Gold Mine near the River of No Return Wilderness has long been a hotspot for Bigfoot reports. A logging crew decided to camp out there in an old ghost town. They filmed and took photos throughout the trip, but only later realized they had captured something strange. In one of the pictures, a large dark shape appears near the tree line. The uploaders said they had heard strange sounds in the woods that day, but never saw another person.
I would imagine this is a cable that's attached to it that we're linking. Just pull them apart. Just pull them apart.
Some believers say Bigfoot's mixed color hair helps it blend into forests like this one, making shapes like this easy to miss in the moment, but noticeable later on camera. So was a creature watching them from the trees, or just shadows playing tricks on their minds? These two photos come from different people and different times in Virginia, and were recently posted to Reddit. Many commenters pointed out how similar the figures look, with some suggesting it could even be the same Bigfoot. Others disagreed, saying the first photo clearly resembled a black bear. The lower image was described as blurry and unclear, making it even harder to judge. Several users with wildlife experience said both images matched the appearance and movement of a young black bear, possibly with summer fur or mange. They also noted that bears can appear surprisingly human-like when standing or stretching. Because of this, most people concluded the images show bears, not evidence of Bigfoot. But what do you think? A Jeep driver was driving a quiet forest trail in Manitoba when something appeared beside the road. The driver slowed down and managed to capture this on camera. Standing among the trees was a tall, black, hairy figure. It was too big to be a person, too human to be an animal. Some viewers believe it could be Bigfoot, others argue it was simply a hoax, maybe a man in a costume standing in the woods. So what was really out there that day in the Manitoba forest? a homeowner got a motion alert from their Ring security camera late at night. When they checked the saved footage, it showed a dark shape moving near the fence behind their home, instead of the usual wildlife in the backyard and nearby forest. The shape came out of the trees in a low position. It then rose higher and larger as it moved closer to the camera. The figure appeared tall and humanoid inside the yard. The homeowner uploaded the clip online because it could not be identified. But most viewers agreed. This gotta be fake. A TikTok group called La Patrona El Patron Marquez shared a chilling story from deep in the woods of Oklahoma. One night they returned to collect their trail cameras. As they made their way through the forest, they noticed something unsettling: scattered animal bones laying nearby. They continued walking, and that's when they claimed to spot a large, dark creature in the distance. They believed whatever it was could have been responsible for the bones. Eventually they reached their trail camera, and when they reviewed the footage, they were shocked. After a deer calmly walked past the lens, a massive upright figure stepped into view. Broad shoulders, long arms, slow, heavy steps. Then the clip ends. No follow-up, no explanation. Oklahoma is well known for numerous Bigfoot reports over the years, so could this have been the real deal? Wendy Wilson, an explorer and photographer, shared a photo that showed an ape-like figure hiding behind something metallic. The picture was blurry, but Bigfoot enthusiasts were thrilled, thinking it might be proof of the creature's existence. But others said a professional photographer should have taken a clearer image and suspected it might be reused from the internet. The location wasn't revealed either. So, did Wendy really capture Bigfoot, or just another fake photo? A strange photo began circulating on cryptid podcasts and online forums. It shows a massive crouching figure deep in a forest. The creature appears enormous, broad shoulders, long arms, and a dark, heavy build. Some believe it's nothing more than a clever costume. Others argue the size and detail look far too realistic to be fake. If it were real, it could be one of the largest Bigfoot sightings ever photographed. But there's a problem. There's no clear backstory, no confirmed location, no verified photographer, no original source. Just a single image, raising more questions than answers. So who took this photo, and what did they really capture in that forest? In 1924, Albert Osman, a seasoned prospector, set out alone into the wilds of British Columbia. His destination, the remote forests of Toba Inlet. He was dropped off by boat with supplies, tools, and a rifle, planning to spend several days scouting for gold before being picked up. But soon, Osman's camp was disturbed. His food supplies were taken, yet nothing was torn or damaged. It didn't seem like the work of animals. Something, or someone, was watching. One night he climbed into his sleeping bag with his rifle in hand. Suddenly he was jolted awake, still inside his bag, being carried. Blind, confused, and unable to move, he was hauled across rugged terrain for hours. When he was finally dropped, Osman found he was inside a steep, hidden basin, surrounded by 4 towering human-like figures covered in hair. A family. There was a massive male, a broad-shouldered female, and 2 younger creatures. The only exit was a narrow pass, and it was guarded. He wasn't harmed, but he was watched constantly. His supplies began to dwindle. The creatures communicated in gestures and grunts. They were curious, but made no move to let him go. Then he had an idea. Osman offered the large male a plug of chewing tobacco. The creature ate it and became violently ill. In the confusion, Osman ran. He climbed ridge after ridge through unforgiving terrain, finally reaching the coast, where he flagged down a boat and left the wilderness behind. Osman was held for 6 days. For decades, Albert Osman kept the story to himself, afraid of ridicule. But in 1957, as public interest in Sasquatch began to rise, he came forward and told the world what he believed happened. Skeptics dismissed it, but others point to the detailed descriptions, the strange behavior, and the isolation of the region as reason to reconsider. Was it all a hoax? Or did Albert Osman truly spend 6 days as the prisoner of a Sasquatch family. And for more Bigfoot encounters, watch this next video.